Afternoon everyone, welcome to another episode of Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. So today we are here at London Stansted doing a short flight over to Palma de Mallorca in the lovely Spain. We're back with the EasyJet A320, one of the newer livery types, in actual fact the 2025 edition. So let's jump into the cockpit. We are on the VAT Sim network as well. There's not a lot of traffic around here at Stansted during the afternoon, obviously it's a weekday. We do have London Control currently online, and that is about it that's online at the moment. So let's jump in the flight deck and we'll get ourselves all set up ready for departure. First things first, let's get GSX doing its thing. Hey everybody, how are we doing? And we'll get the aircraft all fully loaded. So 175 passengers today, just short of 10 tons of fuel, and we'll let it do its thing. So let's get everything set up. So oxygen, CVR test. Let's try again. There we go. Just to follow Alfie. Fuel pumps can all come online. It is aisle 1, 2, and 3. Emergency exit lights to armed. No smoking on rides.
These include laptops, handbags, duty-free and loose items of clothing.
PKP fire tests, get that on. Check all the other options as well.
We would kindly ask that you keep the aisle clear, enabling all remaining customers to board. Your seatbelt can now be fastened ready for departure. This is
we don't need the overhead integrated lighting on today. So let's get everything set up. Well, I've got to look at the Stansted ATIS as well. So current ATIS information is Charlie time 1250, runway news 22, transitional 75, 160 at 15 knots. Is a bit breezy here today. QNH 1009, so we get that tuned in, ready to go. So let's take through the flight plan, and then we'll get ourselves all set up, ready to go. So this is your operational flight plan. We're actually in the Phoenix A320 for the first time in God knows how long. We're not flying the 320 in ages. Normally the 319 or the 321's been the latest options. So cost index today of 60, cruise level of 350. We've got a bit of a headwind, 21 knot headwind on our routing across. Zero fuel weight 60.7 tons, takeoff weight of 69.7, which is still below our maximum. And even if we needed to make an immediate return, we would still be below our maximum landing weight as well. Actually, no, to lie, we won't be below our maximum landing weight. We'd be a little bit above it, so we'd probably have to burn some fuel if we needed to divert. So block time is 2 hours 25, and then the en route time is around approximately 2 hours and 10 minutes. We're expecting 22 for departure, as we've already seen from the ATIS, Nervo 1 Romeo for our SID. And then we're expecting runway 06 left over at La Palma, and it's the Lores 1 Romeo arrival. And that's a distance of 854 nautical miles, require 9.3 tons of fuel. And that is pretty much it. We'll have a look at the weather over in our destination as well. So Palma de Mallorca weather currently 020 at 7 knots, 13 degrees Celsius, QNH 1005. There's rain in the vicinity by the look of it as well, so not the best of conditions over there, but we'll see how we get on. So let's have a quick look at our charts, and we'll get the aircraft all set up as well. If I click the right thing, that is. Let's have a quick look at what our initial climb is going to be on the Nervo 1 Romeo departure. So 4,000 feet, so we'll get that in the box now as we speak. It's 4,000 set in there, and let's get the MCD all set up for our departure. Call sign today is going to be EZY97 Juliet. So we're going to make some mistakes on that. We said our cost index, my bad, let's have a look on this other screen over here. 60. Cruise level was 350. Minus 58. Our dropper 31384. Current ground temperature here was 10 degrees Celsius, so ground temperature 10 degrees. Next page, block fuel required is 9.3 tons. Zero fuel weight of 60.7. That should give us a CG of around 29. We'll have a look at that in a minute. We've got a headwind of 21. So that's going to reduce our fuel. 46 minutes extra fuel. Flight plan, Echo Golf Sierra Sierra. We're expecting runway 22 for departure. Number 1 Romeo Sid. And then La Palma arrival route in 06 left. Let's put it in LS Zulu approach normally. Lower 1 Papa. See what they say on our routing across. That's all in and done. Have a quick look for our performance. Get the takeoff speeds calculated on here. There you go, bang on 30. So we need to just increase our CG.
Welcome on board your EasyJet flight. Please place any small items of hand baggage under the seat.
So V1 150, 150, flaps 1 down, 0.3.
To help us get away on time,
So pretty high speeds today.
clear to allow other customers to board.
So we're quite full, we've got a lot of fuel on board as well.
Please keep your seatbelt unfastened until the seatbelt sign is switched off.
So they're still refueling at the moment.
No smoking flight.
Weather radar, predictive wind shear system can come on as well. Get the transponder on. TA mode, wonderful. So one thing we can do, because London's online, we could do a PDC departure, which may be more sensible to do. So what we need to do is we want to head into the ATC communication option. And we want to go to connection, I believe. Notification. So as far as I know, it's LONC. Notify on that end. And then we will do our pre-departure clearance as well. Pre-departure clearance into the UTC menu. ATC requests pre-departure clearance. So, Echo Golf Sierra Sierra / LEPA. Call sign EZY 97 Juliet. Information Charlie on the ATIS. Gate number is 21. A320, and the station is LONC. And in here we're just going to put ready to copy IFR. Register clearance, and then we'll hit the send option there. And that hopefully should send that across to London with a bit of luck. So we'll give it a few minutes for that to all come back. And we'll see how that goes. Sometimes it takes a few minutes for that to come through. But either way, we're still waiting for the rest of the bags and everything to be loaded. Well, wait for fuel first and then bags. And then we will get ourselves going. Now we'll get the seatbelt plans on in a minute once the refueling's all finished. We'll have a look out here. Passengers are still getting on by the look of things. So. Like I say, I've not flown this 320 for a little while, to be fair. So guys, if you're not already subscribed, feel free to give us the like, comment, subscribe over on TikTok and YouTube as well. Apologies for those of you on TikTok if you've seen some of our latest content. The QR code for some reason, and to be fair, even in the stream wasn't working. Not quite sure what's going on there, so that's all been addressed and adjusted temporarily, and then we'll look at that a little bit closer on. So we've got 13 minutes to go, I think, till departure. A little bit of time, so ATC option there, wonderful. So we have just got our clearance here. Departure request status, PC, and it's been processed, wonderful. So we'll just wait for, just waiting for that. We'll just tune London's frequency as well, 127105. So even though you've got that, we need to make sure you're still on the right frequency as well.
EasyJet A320 Juliet, you can further climb on advisory 132.8. Bye-bye.
Ah, that's a summer on.
Climb on advisory, have a good day. Thank you very much, Thomas. Ciao.
Hello.
Bye-bye.
On board is Jet2.com and Jet2 Holidays flight.
It's nearly time for takeoff, so please find your seat.
So I think refueling is now completed, which it is. So we can get the seatbelt signs on.
These need to go under the seat in front of you. Please make sure the aisle and exit areas are nice and clear.
If you need a hand, our cabin's for a hand with help. Have a good flight.
Got another ATC message, here we go. So we'll just clear that.
Golf Echo 47, you will be entering control airspace in 1 mile, radar control inside. Easy 34 Oscar Kilo, climb now, follow 80.
1280, 3 kilo.
So we are clear to La Palma from runway 225 and the Nurburg 1 Romeo departure. Initial climb 4,000 feet, squawking 5420. Sorry, 5470 even.
Swiss 3 Yankee Alpha, descent level 140.
5470, QNH 1009. Report aircraft type of Stansted when fully ready on 127105. So cool. That's our clearance all sorted, and we are ready to go. We must have not used this PDC option very often. I tend to use it more when area controls online. So that's just a case, pretty much waiting for the rest of everything.
London Control, good afternoon. Ryanair 30 Lima Lima on the ground at Stansted is a type 737 MAX 8 with Delta requesting clearance to Cork.
Ryanair 30 Lima Lima, good afternoon. Thanks. Clearance coming up via PDC.
Roger, thank you.
So we're just waiting for Bax to come on board and then we'll be ready to go.
Charlie Yankee Golf 1488 London Control, hello. Stand by.
So one thing we can do is consider getting the AP started.
Yes, Charlie Yankee Golf 1488, you are not going to be entering my airspace, or you will be entering just for a brief second. You may continue with advisory 122.8. Easy 34 Oscar Kilo, you can monitor advisory as well, 122.8.
122.8, thanks, looking at.
Etihad 8 Juliet, climb down, flight number 180.
AP on and start.
Etihad 8 Juliet, climbing 180.
Swiss 3 Yankee Alpha, 122.8, bye-bye.
122.8, bye-bye, thank you.
Got a feeling he's probably going offline in a second. We'll see how we go.
Whiskey 7 Alpha Sierra, Roger by Alpha 1, backtrack and line up runway 25. Back to 7 Alpha Sierra, okay, in that case, in fact, you are clear for takeoff. Runway 25 from Alpha 1, the wind is 150 degrees, 16 knots.
Alpha 1, runway 25.
So AP still booting up, it's virtually available. So, cockpit prep, gear pins, covers and roof, fuel quantity 9,340 tonnes, and that is balanced. Seatbelts on, adheres are set to nav, we'll just double check that down here as well.
Easy 258, radio check over.
They're on nav as well.
Easy 258, visibility 5.
Parif 1009.
Roger.
AP is available, AP bleed, and it disconnected external power.
Titan 1365, ready for push and start, Birmingham.
Titan 1365, thank you, push and start approved for runway 15, call for taxi.
Push and start approved, 15, call for taxi, Titan 1365.
And Easy 258, you don't have a flat plan in the system, can you refile and then give me a call?
Roger, will do, over. Easy 258.
No, just wait for the last of the bags to go on, and then we got ourselves pushed back from stand.
The Streamer 931, Heathrow is landing on 9 left, you can monitor advisory 1228, bye bye.
Over to advisory on 09 left, and have a good afternoon. 931.
Thanks, you too.
Yeah, we got
control, good afternoon, Seabird 880, X-ray, passing 3 back.
Sure, 880, good afternoon to you, United Control, climb now, flight level 150.
Flight level 150, Seabird 880, X-ray.
I think we've got one more trolley of cases afterwards, and then we'll be about done. Like I say, we're not playing the 320 for a little while, so it'll be interesting to see how we get on with it. I don't know what you guys think to the new overhead view. Just managed to get a new mount for a different, slightly different perspective for you guys.
Shoot 880, X-ray, fly heading of 055 degrees, at climb flight level 230.
Fly heading 055 degrees, climb 230, Seabird 880, X-ray.
Whiskey 7 Alpha Sierra, climb now, flight level 110.
Climb now, flight level 110.
Canada 861, nothing further, monitor advisory 1228, bye.
What did we do, translated?
Whiskey 7 Alpha Sierra, passing altitude 4,000 feet, you can turn left, radar heading 090 degrees.
Left heading 090 degrees, 7 Alpha.
Seabird 880, X-ray, turn left heading 030 degrees.
Left 030 degrees, Seabird 880, X-ray.
They've got 3 minutes to go till departure. Just waiting for the loaders. Once they're finished doing their bits, we've got 3 or 4 more cases.
Janex 887, when you're ready, descend flight level 150.
Let's get the tug connected and then...
Janex 887, when ready, descend flight level 150.
One more bag to go, and then we should be about there.
London Control Grid, Easy 1548, that's clearance to Stuttgart.
Easy 15 from Delta London, hello there, no flight plan for you, can you refile and then give me a call?
Yeah, we're checking again, either one.
Let's go 7 Alpha Sierra, climb flight level
Coordinates complete.
150.
We will shortly be closing the door.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for
Either 1-5, you should have one up.
Roger, connect the turret, and we'll let you know when we're clear.
Thanks, got it now, and I'll send you a
Cross
video.
flight parking
There's
rates,
no need to
taking
acknowledge.
speed to thrust, 150, 150, 150, thrust 60.
Device being damaged or overheating.
Windows closed, beacon, okay, come on.
Spirit agent 0 straight, and right heading 080 degrees.
bypass pin inserted.
So we'll
Right
get
heading
our
0
prospect turrets and then we'll get going.
0 X-ray.
London, good afternoon. Easy 97 Juliet on stand 2-1 A320, ready for caution style.
Easy 97 Juliet, good afternoon, let it control push and start approved, QNH 1009.
QNH 1009, Easy 97 Juliet.
Locking gear.
Spirit agent 0 X-ray, resume on navigation now direct to Sunline, climb flight level 370.
Resume on navigation direct to Sonda and climb 370, speed 880 X-ray.
Go Echo 47 Charlie, you're about to leave my airspace for further service. My service will now terminate. Squawk 1 security, you can
Parking brakes.
freak on route. Bye bye.
Brakes release, close push.
Commencing
Bye bye. Let's go 7 Alpha Sierra, climb flight level 200. Climb flight level 200.
Start sequence 1 then 2, starting number 1.
Shannon 887, Heathrow is landing on 09 left. You can monitor advisory 1228. Bye bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good afternoon. A very warm welcome to your...
Python 1365, ready for taxi at Birmingham. Python 1365, Roger, taxi, holding point. You probably need to cross. So taxi via Hotel Lima, cross runway 15, and then left Alpha, hold Alpha 1, runway 15.
Stansted, buddy, Stansted in the UK.
Hotel Lima, cross 15 via Lima and Alpha to 15, Python 1365.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here for your comfort, but primarily for your safety. With that in mind, we do ask, indeed we require, the 2 minutes of your time.
You want to have ready for push and start?
Easy 15, push and start approved, QNH 1009.
Push and start approved, QNH 1009.
Starting 2.
Easy 15.
Let's go 7 Alpha Sierra, you can resume on navigation direct to Etwip, monitor advisory 1228, bye bye.
Some crew instructions, including the following safety procedures. The safety cover found in your seat pocket.
Set
Good
parking
agent
brakes.
director, but I'll be closing up
Brakes set,
shortly,
clear to
monitor
disconnect.
advisory 122.8, bye.
Masks, life jackets, and the brace position that you must adopt if you hear brace,
I don't know if that was for me, was it?
There are 8 emergency exits on this aircraft. The cabin crew are now pointing out the exits nearest to you. Please be aware that your nearest usable exit may be behind you.
Alright, please don't Lima, push and start is
Emergency
approved, I'm ready for
lighting will guide
taxi,
you
8
to
monitor
an
advisory
In
122.8, bye bye.
emergency, leave all baggage on board.
Monitor advisory,
Your
bye-bye,
seatbelt is
Ryanair 30
fastened,
Lima Lima.
All stations be advised, the southern frequency is now closed, you can monitor advisory 122.8, I say again, the southern frequency is now
We
closed.
recommend that
Monitor
you keep
advisory
it fastened
122.8, London out, good afternoon.
If the air supply fails, mask
Turn
will
signal
drop from
disconnected.
above.
Bypass pin
Pull a
removed.
mask towards you to start the oxygen.
Left is
Put the
clear.
mask over
Right is
your
clear.
nose
Push
and
traffic,
mouth
easy 15, push and back.
and breathe.
Easy direction start.
Hold the mask in place with the strap. Pull on each side to adjust. Put on your own mask before helping others. If we land on water, take a life jacket from under your seat.
Just double checking all our
Remove
controls
the
are alright,
pouch
because
and put it over your head. Pass the tapes around your waist and click together. Pull
it
the
looks like we're going to be
strap
going out
to adjust.
beside this other easy.
Do not inflate it inside the
That's the
aircraft.
pin.
When outside, inflate it by pulling the toggle. If it fails to inflate or needs topping up, blow into this tube. There is a
After
light
start.
and whistle
Anti-aircraft required, decam status, check pitch trim
The cabin
0.3
life
down,
jackets for children.
hopefully.
Your tray table must now be stowed
Battery down, word trim neutral.
window blinds open, and seatbelt fastened.
Flight controls full up.
Further information regarding your safety on board can be
Look.
found in the in-flight magazine. We hope you have a great flight.
Full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, full left, full left, full right, neutral. So we'll have to wait for the other Easy to taxi out, and then we can follow them. So strobes to steady, taxi lights. Stansted traffic, Easy 97 Juliet taxiing to runway 22 behind the company. Once he gets going, could consider going around him really, but there's not much of an issue. See how long he takes. Alberto, so we are flying today to La Palma in well, it's Mallorca, isn't it? Palma de Mallorca. That's where we're flying to. No passengers again. Lovely airport scenery though for Stansted. We'll see how long he's going to be before he pushes back. Hopefully it shouldn't be too long. What we could consider doing is taxiing to runway 22 via Bravo East. Is another option.
Central traffic ED 15 taxi to runway 22 Easy Stansted.
So brakes released. Hopefully he's going to start rolling as well. Which it is. Wonderful. That starts the traffic Easy 97 Juliet taxiing at 2 runway 22 behind the company. So brake check. Ooh, wow.
Stansted traffic runway 30 Lima Lima taxi, runway 22 via Echo West and Hotel Stansted.
The brakes seem very, very sensitive on this A320 again. So we may need to have a quick look at the settings during the flight. It could be that the config file is not quite right. Might just do that quickly now, just a second before we taxi out. So bear with us 2 seconds, guys. We're just gonna double check that all the control settings, because it's a new aircraft. Sometimes the control settings don't tend to go over, which the touch device rudder. There we go. That's why. And same with the throttle. Obviously Phoenix 2. Let's try again, hopefully that'll be a bit better.
Central traffic Easy 15 taking off runway 22 Stansted.
Hello, flight deck.
Hello, it's Cameron at door 1 left, cabin secure for takeoff.
Wonderful, thank you. Oh, that feels better. Not quite as sharp as they were. So there is an aircraft over to the right side of us. Don't think there's anything inbound. Nothing on the radar. So taxi checklist, flight controls check, flap setting, conform plus F radar, predictive wind shear on an auto. ECAM memo is also takeoff, no blue. This guy's scaring me a little bit. Alright, checklist please. Take a forward, confirm 225 Romeo 1. Config 1 plus FT, cast T8RA, packs 1 and 2 both off. Nothing on the approach path that we can see. Stansted traffic, easy 970, line up runway 22.
The traffic is on 5,600, climbing 110, Stansted.
So, strobes on, landing lights on. So, thrust 50. Take off. Man, flex 60, SOS runway off thrust blue.
Stansted traffic, Ryanair 30 Lima Lima, will line up and wait runway 22 Stansted.
P1, rotate. Positive climb, go. Enough. A little bit windy today. Just climb. Speed check lap 0. Packs 1 and 2 west on. Stansted traffic, easy 970 Juliet, passing 1,700, making a right turn, no 1 Juliet departure. 1 Romeo departure even.
Stansted traffic, Ryanair 30 Lima Lima, departing runway 22 Stansted.
AP1. Hey buddy, how we doing? Hello, new to the channel, really like content. Yes, we do. So we have a triple screen setup. So the right hand side is pretty much all stream stuff and vPilot for everything else. And the left side we have Navigraph full screened on, and then just pretty much the main screen flight sim. I've tried stretching it across 3 screens, it just doesn't look very good across 3 screens, to be quite honest with you, so that's the reason why we don't. Hey Leo, how we doing buddy? I'm just departing a lovely Stansted. So we're initially at a restriction of 4,000 feet until we get past, and there we go.
Traffic, Ryanair 30 Lima Lima, passing 1,900, number 1 Romeo departure, Stansted last one.
Whenever you are seated. Toilets are located at each end of the cabin.
We could do, it won't make any difference though, to be honest, on flight sim.
E-cigarettes. In just a few moments, we'll commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to.
Which what did you get? The new ones. The same ones I've got. Wing Archer or Wing Control Archer releasing some on the 27th. The actual Airbus ones. Whether we purchase them, I don't really know. So if you check out our Discord page, buddy, you can download the sound pack. It only works with the Phoenix, though. Only works with the Phoenix. I think there are other, like, I think British FS Labs has something similar as well, but But yeah, it's just a sound pack, just an audio pack that's been created. It's been adjusted a little bit from the one that we downloaded. I'm a little bit cheeky really. It's actually integrated some of the British Airways announcements as well. But they're not obvious British Airways ones, but. So 4,000. EasyJet 970 climbing flight level 350 full level. So let's go open climb 350 in a sec. So we've got an altitude constraint for a couple of minutes, and we'll see how we get going. Beautiful plane. I forgot how much I've enjoyed flying the 320, to be fair. Oh, the TPR, yeah, same ones that I've got then. So we're going at 4,000 feet at the minute, and we'll be climbing to 350. Want to get past this next waypoint in a second. Yeah, want to get past Nugbo, but then we can. That's the constraint that's there at the moment. And then we'll climb pretty much from there. There is a couple of aircraft about as well. The weather looks actually better over here in the UK than it does in Spain, to be fair. When I looked at the latest weather for our destination, it's showing that it's raining actually, but we'll see how we go. It should be a nice flight either way. Yeah, clouds looking nice today though, I must admit. There you go. So now it's in climb mode, so I'll just continue climbing to our cruise now. There's not a great deal of ATC on today. It could be a little bit cheeky here and we make a bit of a direct at probably GWC maybe. That'd probably give us a nice cheeky little diversion or a little shortcut there. So it'd probably go better than that. Probably go the next one after sit it. There's not a great deal of traffic about, so standard pressure is set. Yeah, you'll like them, Leo, to be fair. They are pretty good. I've just had mine like 10 years now, so I don't think they're quite as accurate as they once were. But yeah, they're a good pair of pedals for a starter. They're fine. Pretty much it's just the pedals and the radio panel really left to go, and the weather radar and stuff, but once that's done and dusted. So we're approaching 10,000 feet, strobes back to auto and landing lights off. And I'll let you watch some cinematic bits as we continue our climb. This is where we're going to be a little bit naughty, so we're going to pretty much fly straight down overhead Heathrow. Hopefully it's a little bit of a shock. It saves us a little bit of fuel and a bit of time as well. So current landing time is going to be 16:02 for our landing, so we'll About just under a couple of hours, about 1 hour for 57, 58. I forgot how much I actually quite enjoy flying the 320, to be fair. It's quite an enjoyable aircraft to fly. So we will sort of be popping in and out sort of throughout the throughout it all. We'll have a keep having a look at what ATC we're going to sort of incur on the way. Yes, this is the Phoenix Buddy, sorry, and yes, flights in 2024, Jack. Sorry, I completely missed that comment on that. And yeah, we're flying to flight level 350 as our cruise level today. Probably just far cloud, I didn't really didn't see it. Here we are going overhead London. I don't know what we can see, probably better from this sort of view actually. See, we've got London just next to us here. And Thames beneath us. Sometimes you can get quite some good views really. Might be better from one of the window sides. See if there's anything we can pick out on the way over. So here's the Thames that we can just see here. Trying to see if we can pick anything else out on the way over. Sometimes a little bit tricky. The cloud cover's pretty rubbish. Hey everybody, how are we doing?
Traffic, someone give me a radio check.
Middle 5.
Card.
So approaching 20,000 feet. I don't know why I haven't released the cabin yet. They can do what they need to do. So we're flying from London Stansted, and we're going down to La Palma, Palma de Mallorca. So about a 2-hour flight roughly. A little bit longer flight than we've done recently, I must admit. And like I say, we're in the Airbus A320 today, not the 319 or the 321. So we'll mix it up a little bit, to be fair. One thing I noticed as we was taking off though, it feels very, very heavy. So I don't know if anyone's seen these new rudder pedals that are coming out on the 27th, I think, of this 27th of January is when they're being released, the new Airbus rudder pedals. I don't know how much they are though, so, and Stansted grounds just come online as well. I wish you did, Eddie, I wish you did, mate. But no, pretty alright flight wise. Carl Howard and cheers for the follow, mate. So guys, if you're not already subscribed over on YouTube, feel free to give it a like and subscribe. There is loads more content over on there than you see on TikTok. I do try and upload as much as I can, but there's obviously a lot more restrictions with TikTok than there is with YouTube, so it makes things a little bit more tricky. I wish it did, Eddie, mate. I wish it did. In fairness, like, most things feel like, obviously the Phoenix is so realistic. It's pretty much the real thing. But
Gatwick traffic easy 464. He's pushing back from stand 14.
Carl, how are you doing? Oh, you found me on VATSIM radar. Lovely. Yeah, we pretty much always. We pretty much all the time fly on the VATSIM. It's very rare that I don't fly on VATSIM. Sometimes if I'm just going to do some circuits or something, but it's quite rare if I stream them anyway. And most of the streams that we do are always over on VATSIM. Hello WS. I'm trying to think where that is. I'm going to have to look now. I know Lowy's obviously Innsbruck. Oh, Salzburg in Austria. Oh, nice one. So Salzburg to Birmingham then. Lovely. Decent little flight. Yeah, to be fair, it is getting there, Ed. It is getting there, mate. Like, this isn't just something that's happened just overnight. Yeah, certainly not something that's just occurred overnight. There we go. Ah, fair dues. Oh, fair enough. There you go, the weather's looking a little bit better now than what it was looking like. Flying here somewhere, don't know how that's got in there. Which means it's warming up somewhere. Drove a coach back from Austria over the weekend, 14 hours on a coach versus 2 hours on a plane. Wow, that's pretty crazy, isn't it? Pretty crazy. But it's an enjoyable drive though. Very scenic, I'd imagine. Oh, I don't fly helicopters, buddy. I've had a go at flying helicopters on here. It does not end well whatsoever. They're like black magic, is what I would say. How they fly. Oh, so we've got an aircraft sort of to sort of 2,200 feet below. I can't see him, but I guess we can see him across from here. They're harder to spot in the daylight, to be fair. He's climbing anyway, so he should be well out of our. We're probably getting towards the same waypoint, I guess. So we'll keep an eye on him, see where he ends up. Got about 7 miles between us at the moment. Oh, that does sound pretty cool, mate. Sound pretty cool. Sorry, I'm just catching up. Yes, we do real one-to-one timing. The Phoenix does not like being sped up whatsoever. If you ever try and skip the simulation speed, it really doesn't like it. I think it'll let you go up to like 2 times, But yeah, it doesn't really like it, to be honest. I know I do tend to go and do other things, even sometimes even when streaming. Depends how many people are sort of on the streaming things, and how many sort of questions. There's lots of questions and I'll stay. It passes the time quite quickly sometimes, to be honest. But yeah, quite often we will tend to go and do other things. Just leave it sort of in this view. I love chase plane, absolutely love chase plane for the views. Gives you some really good cinematic views, to be honest. This is obviously the new 2024 edition, well, I say the new edition of the EasyJet livery. The Europa Park car. There is also EasyJet Holidays as well, that's another fairly new one. I don't know about you guys, I'm looking forward to the Neo coming out from Phoenix though. I don't think that'll be much longer, to be honest, but certainly looking forward to it coming out. So one thing we can do is have a look at fuel burn and things. So at the minute we're burning like 60 kilograms a minute or something stupid. Obviously that's because we're still in the climb phase. Let's have a quick look at the fuel predictions, to be fair. We're nearly at our cruise though, 1 million miles. We'll have a quick look to see what the optimal is. So the optimal is also flight level 350. So we should be at the top of the punt at 15:47. So a little while, yeah, over an hour. We will see, because we saved a little bit of fuel as well. We've got 4.4 tons of extra fuel. At that point, we'll have a look. So we've got an extra 1 hour 16 minutes extra time total. That's after our final 30 minutes and the 26 minutes to the alternate if required as well. So plenty of fuel. If we do need to go anywhere, I think it's it's El Prat, Barcelona El Prat airport we're flying to. If we did need to divert anywhere. Can you change aircraft on flight? Or no, you'd need to start a new flight. Yeah, you can fly pretty much any aircraft, to be fair, Ed. There's so many, like, there's so many. If you just search even what comes as default. Oh, so this aircraft isn't default, this is an add-on aircraft, which is part of the reason why we fly with it, to be honest. This is one of the only reasons why I only fly this particular plane most of the time as well, especially now we've got a full setup with it. What route? I'll show you the routing, bear with me. I'm not a big lover on the map here then. So this is sort of our routing down, so we're going to come in top end of France, pretty much all the way down to the bottom end of France. Over into Andorra slightly, and then at this point here we'll probably be starting our descent down here into La Palma. Generally speaking, that's not the exact routing you tend to fly. You tend to fly more out this direction, and then bring yourself back round as well. So yeah, this is where we're off to. 2 runways at Mallorca, so we're expecting 06 left for landing, which means we'll vacate on the right side and then taxi to our gate, wherever that may be. Like I say, we're not flown here for a long while, so we'll have to see how we get on. But no, overall it's fairly straightforward route really. It's just pretty much follow all the way through France and keep going down. So we're just about reaching our cruise level now. It's only been a steady climb anyway, like 800 feet per minute climb, so hence the reason why it's not took us long to get there. We have got some extra fuel, so we could also increase our speed a touch. Maybe Mach of 0.81. That seems to be roughly about the limit. Okay, Callum, how are we doing, buddy? As you see, we're just over the English Channel as we speak at the moment. There is another aircraft right next to us, which we probably need to keep an eye on. He's behind us, but not by a lot. So we've increased our speed a touch, so hopefully we'll... he's also not displaying a flight plan either, so I can't tell you whereabouts he's flying to. We need to be careful because we're going to have traffic warning in a second. Well, I can't find him yet. He's certainly not far away. You just need to keep an eye on him, just to make sure he doesn't do anything silly. Because as much as I don't think he will do anything silly, you never know. Occasionally you will get a couple of aircraft being silly. The problem is because he's not displaying a flight plan, I also can't even contact him. So he's actually climbing above us now. Hopefully we should see him at some point. I can't see him at all, but obviously our streams are pretty violent. Oh, I think that's him there, look. We see some contrast from someone, so he's climbing above, so it shouldn't be a huge issue at the moment. Yeah, that's the thing, you never know, Carl, do you, what people's intentions are. I won't be the first time I've had someone fly right through me. It's like when you're on the runway, isn't it, and you get someone... Yeah, I had literally the same thing last week, Carl, at Jersey. It's the exact same thing, an aircraft landed in the opposite direction. But I actually, thankfully, I'd kind of noticed this prior to him landing. So we managed to sort that. Yeah, my little co-pilot, bless him, he's always there. He doesn't change much. He doesn't have a lot to say either. He's a man of few words, shall we say. Hey Robert, how are we doing? We're flying from Stansted, or we've obviously left Stansted, over to La Palma, buddy. That's the only downside of the sort of the overhead routing. If you don't know what the airport codes are, obviously, yeah, you're not going to know what it is. One thing we'll do, I think what we'll do is we'll have navigation train on the first officer's side, and then we will leave my side for weather. Although I think the weather's going to be pretty good most of the way. I'll have a look, but alright. So FPOC, we're looking at potentially having a... Well, that's quite a way down the route yet. You can have a wing view if you want a wing view. Hello Tim, how are we doing, mate? Pretty enjoyable, to be fair. Can have some cinematic views if you want as well. And let's sit back and relax. Cheers, Tim. It is the Java Simulator overhead body. Not a very well known one, I'll give you that. Cheers for the follow, Rob. And cheers for the follow, Tim. Yeah, it's not a hugely well known one, if I'm honest. Like, I came across it really by accident, that's how I come across it, but it's a pretty good panel, to be fair. Not the cheapest, not gonna lie, it's probably not going to be as cheap as like what Wing would produce, but It's alright, does the job, and it works. Has quite a few different features as well. I'll show you actually. So the lighting's really good on it. The backlighting's really good, and also it has integrated cabin lights as well, which for night time is wonderful. The only thing that is a bit of an issue with it is obviously for you guys watching at home, it's not so friendly. But yeah, the integrated lighting's really good. All the switches are fairly substantial. The only thing I do dislike is these twitch covers. Is the fact the amount of flex they have in them. They're obviously just covers that are put over the switches, which is fine. Apart from the fact that I don't always, I don't know. I do like it. Don't get me wrong, but I just think for the amount of money it was, I think they should have been rigid. But there we go. Fair enough, Tim. We've all been there with everything running. So I don't use either for it. So they actually have their own. You're not going to be able to see it, unfortunately. But no, Java 7 have their own app for it. Yeah, so you don't need to use MobiFlight or SPAD for it. How do you recover from the storm? Put the nose down. Increase your speed. And if you low to the ground with lots of, yeah, Java Simulator, buddy, that's what it's called. They do 3 different sizes of overheads. The only thing I will say is it's not the sort of product that you'll order and it'll be there like within a week or so. You're going to be waiting probably a good couple of months for it to arrive. The reason for that is because these 2 buttons on the top right here, which you can't see, actually is for the elect pump and the aft isolation. They are 2 custom buttons that you are allowed to select whatever you want. You can leave it as just custom 1, custom 2 as it comes. But yeah, you can have all the engraving and everything, it's all customised for you. So when you order it, you can even tell them what USB leads you want. So you basically get sent a big form. And with regards to the button as well, you can have whatever you want on it. So if you want a fault light above it, if you want the on light, there's literally any configuration you want really with it. A lot of people, so I've gone elect pump and aft isolation valve. I wish I'd changed the aft isolation valve for dual cooling. I don't know a great deal about the Neos, but apparently that's a big thing that's required for the Neos. No, they do Boeing as well, buddy. They do some Boeing panels as well. They don't do one of a similar size for the Boeing yet. They only do the smaller size at the moment. But overall, like, the communication's really good with them. It took a little while for this one to come, but this was the first 6 that were ever produced. It was within the first batch. So yeah, overall, really happy with it. I'm not sponsored by them whatsoever either. I did do a review on it. If you want to check out YouTube, buddy, there is a review on it. If you want to see it in a little bit more detail. We're not currently sponsored by them, however, going forward, that may be a possibility. So they want me to review another panel that they're releasing in the next few months. In fairness, they've not told me. I can't tell anyone what it is, but basically it's what they're planning on doing. So is the radio panel, the audio control panel, basically this whole section of panels here in one panel, but also having the transponder underneath as well, which is perfect for us simmers that only obviously need one side of panels. Yeah, have a look, buddy. Yeah, have a look, see how you get on. Sometimes if you reach out to them, they may give you a little bit of an extra discount as well. They did for me anyway. Wasn't a lot, but it was like $50 off, something like that. It wasn't a huge amount, but. And that's the other thing you need to consider as well when buying. It's not just the initial price. Like when you converted the initial price into it, worked out about 500. I think it worked out to in UK pounds. I don't know if the price has changed since I've been on it though. However, the issue you've got is obviously it's all taxed when it comes into the UK as well, so you have your customs charge as well, which is triple figures. So mine was £106, I think. It wasn't a great deal. And the delivery cost isn't a huge amount, that's not anything to worry about. It's about £35 UK pounds, and it came within 7 days in fairness from when it was dispatched. The tariff shouldn't be too bad, if I'm honest. They shouldn't be too horrific. Obviously if you buy anything from America at the minute you probably will notice they are, but no, it shouldn't be too bad. So guys, I'll be back with you in a couple of minutes. I'm just going to grab a drink. Not really any traffic around us, no ATC on that's around us. We are going to hit a bit of dodgy weather when we come into land. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So guys, I'll leave you with some exterior cinematic views and I'll be back in a few minutes. So I think that's all back all with you. There's me. Let's just catch up with some of the comments. Do I have experience? Yeah, I don't have any experience Callum playing on Xbox at all. I wouldn't recommend buying Flight Sim on Xbox if I'm honest, but it depends on what you're doing with it. If you want this sort of level of realism, don't buy it on Xbox. Is my advice. So, company message. Let's have a look, see what this is all about. Easy ops. Oh yes, no delay code required. That's what we like to see. That is what we like to see. The weather's looking alright. A little bit in the distance, I think there's a bit more, but we'll see how we get on. That other aircraft's still following us, so I don't know whereabouts he is though. Let's have a look. We're still not publishing a flight plan though. Fair enough, Callum, mate. Yeah, fair dues. If you can't, like I say, if you want to just play the game and sort of enjoy just flying like VFR flights and stuff, the Xbox is absolutely perfect. If you want to fly to the level of realism with lots of add-ons and like the Phoenix and have lots of different hardware and stuff, which, if I'm honest, when I first started, mate, that is exactly what I did. I had a flight sim running on a laptop, well, barely running on a laptop. I used to fly using the mouse. That's how I first started to fly, like 15, nearly 20 years ago, to be fair. Yeah, I flew, well, not quite 20 years, it's just under that, but probably about 18 years I've probably been flying flight sim. Obviously it's changed quite drastically, and it's only recently now I've got a fairly decent secure job and stuff that I can afford to buy more hardware and things. And I don't spend a lot of money on other things. Like, this is mostly what I spend my money on, because it's what my sort of hobbies generally are. Let's have a look, see what's going on in the back anyway. But yeah, like the level of realism and stuff is really good. Let me just move over to AP2 just in case. Sometimes when you jump out of the seat, I say the Phoenix, it's that realistic. I can even pop some circuit breakers, look. I don't know if, well, you probably can't see, but let's try and knock something out that's not going to cause us any huge issues. But yeah, you can pop a lot of the circuit breakers and stuff out, which is pretty cool. Test all the oxygen masks. There's loads of little cool little things with. You can't open the bin. We don't want to click that. It won't let us do that anyway. So this button here won't let us do because you have to be on the ground. I don't know if it'll let you pull the seat out properly. I don't know. No, it lets you do it this way. It lets you play with this screen as well. There's obviously all the passengers and stuff. What we won't do though is we won't do that because sometimes the aircraft will start nosediving for some reason. Yeah, pretty interesting guy. So a few of you over. You still with us, Leo? Or are you busy doing something else? Probably should open Discord, shouldn't I? Because Leo normally drops me a message on Discord at some point during the day. I don't know if you have or not, but we'll have a look. Oh no, nothing at the minute. Oh, you on Flight Sim as well then, Leo? Next come the Navin, how are we doing? So we're at Ambanus? I don't know where that is, somewhere in France. I don't know France very well, to be fair. Like I said, the weather, the minute's looking a bit dodgy at our destination. You can't show weather on here, but it's looking all a little bit dodgy. Probably have a look at the weather information. Let's do that actually. Let's request a quick weather request for our destination. So Atsu, we want a weather. Weather requests. Pop that in there. Enable. Let's see here. We want the meta is what we want. Hit the send button on that. So we just wait for, we need to go to the messages, receive messages, and weather data. So, special. LEPA at 14:41 Zulu on the 20th of January, which is today. The wind is 060, so let me get my little notepad out. 060 at 17 knots, so it's a bit blustery, shall we say. Visibility of 9,000 meters. Or 9 kilometers actually, but rain in the vicinity, scattered at 1,500 feet. Clouds are broken at 4,000. Temperature is 15 degrees Celsius, dew point of 12. QNH 1004. I can't remember what RE stands for on let's have a look. Meta. Oh. Is a recent rain. RE, so that's what that means. Recent rain. I'd forgotten what that stood for, to be fair. With no significant changes apparently. So what we could do is we could get really prepared and head into our performance option for our approach. We know that at the moment the QNH is 1004. The temperature is 15 degrees Celsius. The wind is currently 060 at 17 knots. Transition level 075. And it's going to ask for the barrow. Obviously, we don't really know for the barrow what. Well, we don't really know what at all what's going on with the barrow. And we're going to presume that it's going to be so it'd be an ILS Yankee, I would think. Let's have a look for ILS Yankee 05. So, minimums. All depends on the visibility. So we're not got any huge restrictions for visibility. So we can go all the way to Cat A. So 354. It depends on your sort of degrees. Let's go with 354 for the barrow, and that's everything there. So I guess it's 140, and I think what we'll do, we'll have a couple of extra knots if we've got 17 060. So actually that's a tailwind of 17 knots, so we probably actually want to, yeah, let's stick at 140 for now. What we'll probably try and do, we may tailor that up a little bit. We've got a pretty hefty tailwind. We'll go from there. So guys, if you've got any comments or any questions, sorry, feel free to give us an ask and we'll try and answer them the best we can. So we should be on the ground at so 16:04 is our current landing time. It may decrease slightly as we sort of proceed across. I'm going to try and do a couple of little shortcuts here and there, just try and reduce that flight time a touch. We're pretty much just heading now towards sort of on the west coast of France, and then we'll be heading down very shortly, if I'm honest. So this is looking mainly at turbulence and stuff. So we are at 350. So upcoming, we could anticipate a little bit of turbulence according to the current information here, but we'll see how that proceeds as we fly across. Like I say, it may get a little bit bumpy. It's like a big yellow band of turbulence, which you guys probably can't see from there, but we're about to go into it now. We'll see how it goes. There's just a little bit in the centre that's a little bit more concerning. That's obviously the Dubry radar. So look at just weather for now. We'll see how we get on. It gets a little bit bumpy, so it'll be this little bit we can see up here probably. Reasonably nice day for flying though, not too bad. But I like it when we get a little bit of weather though. It makes it a little bit more interesting for you guys on the stream. It makes my life a nightmare, but so obviously it doesn't actually, the weather radar obviously doesn't look particularly turbulent. It looks more big rain phenomena, but there's not really much. Hey David, how are we doing? How do you make your sim lag less? When is it particularly lagging is what I would probably ask first. Is it all the time? Is it like final stages of flight? What sort of, when does it happen, mate? And I also need to kind of know what sort of system specs you're running as well, because obviously each person's system will vary quite significantly. When you're on the ground, okay. Do you run many add-ons, or? And I'm guessing you're on PC, aren't you? So that says to me, if you're lagging on the ground, like occasionally you'll get a little bit of lag as you're just about to touch down. But I would say if it's happening when you're on the ground, personally, I think you need to. What do you call it? Adjust your settings. If you check out our YouTube, there is a video on there, very recent, since some update 4, with our particular settings, but obviously that's going to vary very much so on your system specs. But I do go into my system specs on there. I don't have like the best of PCs ever, but we'll see how we go. Oh, you've got a 3060 Ti, okay. i7, but yeah, 32 gig RAM. So it's a reasonable setup, isn't it? Probably the only thing I would say, I don't know much about i7 processors, if I'm honest. I'd have to have a look. Let me have a quick look. Hold on a minute. Problem with Flight Sim, it's a very hungry program. So base clock at 2.5 to 4.9. So that's a pretty decent fairly decent CPU, so it's probably not that. I would hazard a guess that probably where a lot of your issues are stemming from is your GPU, I guess. That's not to say that it's an issue, but it's not much different really to what I run, is it? I run the 4070. And it's not a huge like difference really. Just having a quick look at the features, and it's an 8GB card, so that may be where your issue is. So I hazard a guess your issue is going to come from VRAM usage. Looking at that, so if your GPU is an 8GB card, so mine's a 12GB card, and I do struggle with some bits, I have to have things turned down quite a lot. So what I'd probably suggest doing is have a look at our video, mate, on YouTube. Try and utilise them settings that we've done, and then pretty much adjust it from there. I do sort of explain which ones are the heavy hitters, and it's weird things that are heavy hitters, mate. So I'd say have a look at it. If you say just type Fly With Me Simulations into YouTube, you'll soon find us. And the video was only uploaded like literally less than a week ago, so you should see it. It'll be under a certain section though. It'll be under guides, the guide hub. It'll be under, but hopefully that will help. I'm not going to say it's going to do magic tricks, as it may not. If you want a static image of the graphics settings, if you look on our Discord page, and the link I can get for you. Yeah, if you check out our Discord page and you go into Fly With Me Aviation Hub, I literally uploaded something yesterday, and if you click in there, there's screenshots of all my graphics settings, just to make things easier. Hopefully that helps you, buddy. If you've got any more problems, drop me a message on Discord and we'll try and go through it together and see if we can come up with a bit of a plan. Hey, Wizboy, how we doing? Well, I've not been banned from TikTok in a week, so that's a bonus. See where this other aircraft is behind us, because I can't see him, but should we see if we can see him? He's not much further away from us, but maybe he's higher, lower. There he is, to be fair, but so any minute now, this is where we could anticipate a little bit of turbulence. See these few little clouds around us. It's always a bit of a nightmare, to be fair, David, though, with, I'll be honest, it's a complete nightmare with flight sim. I don't know what sort of FPS we sort of run at, if anyone's wondering that. I don't actually know, in fairness. I tend to go with more of the smoothness than FPS. It won't be massive, it'll probably be around 60, I guess. Which, to be fair, I used to play flight sim at like 20 frames per second, so 60 is like a huge improvement. Considering we're streaming as well, obviously we lose a little bit of performance with streaming as well. We are potentially looking at getting a slightly better graphics card. In which case, that reminds me, I need to try and chase up on it. So then, we'll see how David is back with us again. So this is where we could start anticipating a little bit of turbulence. Hopefully it shouldn't be anything too drastic. Probably more if we're descending through it, I'd imagine that's going to be an issue. Top of the temp for us is going to be at what time? Let's head over to our progress options here. Reports. So 15:45. So still about another 40 minutes or so. 299 miles before we start descent. So let's start having a look at our route for our landing. So let's have a look at Palma de Mallorca, and we want to have a look at the Lorez 1 Romeo arrival. So basically, they don't know much about Navigraph. Let's talk you through it. So obviously this is our star, and I hate it when it does this. So this is our star here, Lorez 1 Romeo arrival, and that is the route that we're going to be following. And this tells us it's an RNAV arrival for 06 left or right. So we know that we're landing on 06 left, and as you can see here, this sort of gives you some more information about the star. So I tend to just follow it in a more visual way because I'm more of a visual sort of person. So this indicates, because it's above the line, so flight level 070 is above the line, that means that we need to be above a flight level 70 by Lorez. But typically that will be where our top of descent will start anyway. We'll probably be already descended by that point. So we'd probably go to flight level 100, somewhere around there. Same with Prosper. It's the same restriction there. And if we still need to lose some altitude, we don't think that we're going to be able to achieve this sort of speed restriction, then we have the option here to go into a holding pattern at Prosper. Then we proceed 11.8 miles down to the next waypoint, which is Nudza. Max speed of 250 knots, and then still the same restriction there of flight level 70. Then we move down to XOTN. I don't know how you pronounce it. I don't know how to start pronouncing that, to be honest. And it's the same restriction, flight level 70. So the reason for this flight restriction is going to be because of this high terrain on this side here, which is indicated on the map. So this says down this side of the island, 5,600 feet is the minimum safe altitude. Here, 7,000 feet is the minimum safe altitude. And as you can see, the highest point around this part is 4,700. And if we needed to hold at Taxus or SLP, which we can do, obviously we've got this holding pattern here, which has made it really difficult to see now. Yeah, if you wanted to follow that whole pattern, then you can do. What that's saying here with the minimum MHA, that's saying that the minimum hold altitude is flight level 70. So that means we're still in that safe minimums of 70. So we're going to be staying at flight level 70 or around there pretty much the whole way round. And then the next point, this is where we're going to have a bit of a descent, because obviously this tails off a little bit. So we're now going to descend to 5,000 feet, which is indicated here. And we need to be above 5,000 feet at Adrax, which is indicated by ADX on our waypoint. Then we have a further speed reduction of 230 knots. And then you're going to think, well, where do we go from there? So that's when we then move to the next approach. So we've said that we're going to be using, I think it will actually be an ILS Zulu approach in actual fact, rather than a Yankee approach, but I don't know what really changes with it. It's to do with the routing after, I'm sure it is. I can never remember which order, whether it's a Zulu approach you always default to or a Yankee approach. To be honest, there's no ATC on at the moment, so it doesn't really make a huge amount of difference to us. And the actual route path doesn't change at all. It's just a different ILS frequency that it utilises. So this is where this next chart comes in, and it's quite difficult to see really. So this is ADRAX here. Oh, let me get my pencil out again. So this is ADRAX there, indicated at this waypoint around here somewhere. Minimum height 5,000 feet, and then for the next point we want to be at 3,600, 1,900, and then we will intercept the ILS at this point here, and you can see that quite easily on here. So at 9 DME out, and that is indicated by this point here. You've got 1,900 here. Then we turn on to a heading of 057, and then our ILS is 1,700 feet. And then we follow the 3-degree glide path. The elevation for the runway is only 15 feet above sea level. And that is pretty much all you need to know really. And obviously if we need to do a missed approach, that's all up on here anyway. So missed approach, climb, runway heading, then 060. 060 then is directed, so it's fairly straightforward. One thing we need to now do is double check that all this is actually already in our routing, because if this isn't all in our flight plan, then we'll have a few little issues. So the best way of doing that is pretty much just following with the chart. So I'll open the chart up on my left screen here, that's why I tend to have this other screen, and then we just sort of follow it. So from Lorries, we don't know where we're going to be at, so it's actually saying around flight level 200 there. I want us around flight level 100, so we'll do that. So at Lorries, flight level 100. Next thing you're going to have after this point is not even in there actually, which is really confusing me. Let's just double check to make sure this is all put in properly. So ILS 06 left, Zulu approach, and then it needs to be via ADAX. That's what we've not done properly. So ADX, so via ADAX, and now if we insert that and we move down, so at Lorries we've got flight level 100, that's what we've put in. Then we've got a discontinuity, so it's not actually following this routing at all. So this is why you need to be really careful, because sometimes it won't actually follow the routing as you expect it to. So what we need to do then is we need to just follow the chart. So the next waypoint after Lorries is Prosper. So we'll put these in manually. Most of the time it will do this automatically. So Prosper, and then we can actually put our flight level restriction in there. So that could be flight level 100 as well. And that's a descent path. And then the next waypoint after Prosper is Nudsa. Pop that in here. And at Nudsa we have a restriction of 250 knots. So for 250 it's /7,000. And descent still. And we just go back to where we were there. So that's now put that restriction in place. And then from there it's, I'm not even going to try and pronounce this one, X-Ray Oscar Tango November uniform. Pop that in there. And it's still 250 knots at flight level 70, so do the same thing there, 250 at 7. And descent. And we just keep following it down, you see. And then after there we want Tacos. I don't know if we can get away with just putting SLP in. We may do. It'll probably give us an option there of how many miles away that is, so I'm not going to use any of them because it shouldn't be any of them possible ones. So let's just try TAK Tacos. Let's put Tacos in, and that is actually a speed restriction of 230 knots and 7,000 feet. And you notice above that we've actually got 700 feet in one of these, so we need to make sure that says 7,000. I think I've just done the same thing again that we did originally. Not flight level 700, so / 7,000. There we go, 7,000, there we go. So after Tacos, the next point is Evoli. And that is the same restriction, 230 and 7,000 feet. And then that pretty much gets us to ADAX, which is 5,000 feet. So, and the same speed restriction of 230 knots. So what we'll do is we'll clear the discontinuity there, and then we'll put 230 / 5,000 feet. And as we proceed further down from that is when we'll move to the next plan. So we'll move from this chart here that we've got, then we've just followed that. So then it's the ILS Zulu actually that we're following. So this is where it gets a little bit more complicated, not hugely. So what we need to do is just identify which waypoints each one of these are. So after ADRAX, the next waypoint is identified as 143C. Delta 143C, and that is at 3,600. And then Delta 143F I've got is the next waypoint. So we'll just change this one. So after this one, Delta 143F, and that is at a 1,900. So it'll be, there's no actual speed restriction here, so it'll be just a / 1,900 feet. Descent. I don't know where the 4 November is, probably not there. And then the next waypoint after that is CF06 left, which is a 9-mile DME. So what we can do is we can delete this waypoint here, we'll clear the discontinuity, and then what we'll do is we'll have a look here and go into plan mode, and then I'll show you how this should all look. So as you can see here, if we zoom out a touch, we'll work our way backwards actually. So let's work our way back. So as you can see here, Lores, flight level 100, and then we can descend to 7,000 at this point. It won't be on there because it's not a restriction. ADAX, flight level 5,000 feet, 3,600, 1,900 feet. Then make a left-hand turn, CF06, and then we're pretty much straight there, all done and dusted. So we'll insert that into the flight plan. That is now all done, dusted, and ready. It may change our flight time a touch, not massively, so 16:10 is what it's now saying. It's just under an hour's time. And we're not a million miles actually now from getting to the point of being at the top of descent, really. A little bit of cloud about, but nothing too drastic. Hey David, so you're just trying it out now? Yeah, that's fine mate. I'll try and help you if I can. Obviously if you still having this, what I would suggest doing is opening the developer options and checking the FPS. So if you click display FPS, it will tell you how much VRAM usage you're using. So when I'm on the ground, typically I'm using around 5 gigabytes normally. However, when you start progressing further, you will find the similar sort of options. I would definitely recommend using TAA, not any of the other wild options. Unless it works for you, because every system's different, that's the problem. I'm still changing my system setup throughout, in fairness. I don't know if that aircraft's still following us or whether he's... no, he's still a little way back. He's still following, but he's a little way back. So we've got 3.9 tonnes of fuel. We're still doing fine fuel-wise. Nothing to report on that aspect. So the settings, so it still lags a lot. Okay. What I would recommend doing, David, is, like I say, open developer options, and display the FPS by going in one of the options on the top. See what is bottoming out. That's what I would say. I'm not going to say the thing you've got to consider is they're my settings, and I also run 64 gigabytes of RAM. I don't know, but the processor I think is very similar. So we run a AMD processor, and we have a 4070 as our GPU at the moment. And the GPU I'm still restricted by, even as we are now, which is one of the reasons we're looking at potentially upgrading the GPU at some point soon. It's very much a case of just playing with it. It could be maybe one of the pieces of hardware it depends how new it is. Obviously I don't know how new your PC is. If it's not that new, it could be an issue, maybe one of the piece of hardware failing. I know people that run it on like 30 series cards absolutely fine, so I wouldn't think you'd have a huge issue, but it's difficult to sort of say. So we could anticipate a little bit of turbulence. So we've got a little bit of weather on the right of us. Once we get to the sort of Rokan region, we are going to start descending steadily. It's end of the descent paths to sort of like what we could potentially consider doing, although we've still got a good... So probably once we get to Rokan or Ibraf, we'll probably start our descent, but at the minute it's just how it is. I'm a little bit concerned by this cloud though. I feel like we could be having a little bit of wobbly turbulence. Cheers for the share, Colin, much appreciated, mate. Yeah, it's all very dependent, David, to be honest. You just need to sort of try it out and see how you go on. Like some of the big hitters are things like your fauna. It depends on. I run a lot of add-on scenery, so I have quite a lot of my settings turned off or low. So like the airport builders have on low because it makes no difference because we run add-on scenery. And it's very rare we land somewhere that hasn't got some form of add-on scenery. We do occasionally, but then in that case I just up the settings slightly. So where is the button to display FPS? I would show you, but it will disconnect me from VATSIM if I go into that menu. It's like it's towards the end of the top bar. So once you go back in the sim, it's on towards the end, and I think it's like options or something, and about halfway down the list it will say display FPS. You just have to look across. I can never find it when I look for it either. I have to just look through it. Hello, self-made. How we doing? And cheers for the coins, David, much appreciated. All of that. So guys, if you're not already on our YouTube or Discord, feel free to give us a like, comment, subscribe, and feel free to join Discord. I would say look at the QR. Well, the QR code at the end will show you the correct place. Hey Valve, how are we doing? Have you tried your new throttle quadrant yet? Is it done? Not done? Yeah, I remember. I think he was on the. Was it last night? He was on the stream, and you said it came last night. Was it last night or the night before? You said it was on its way anyway. It is very lovely, isn't it? I absolutely love it as well, mate. It feels like, I don't know what obviously sort of setup you had before, but it is so much nicer. So much nicer. So the problems of graphics, how much VRAM usage? That's normally at the bottom of the list. How much VRAM usage is it using? Yes, to be fair, it does it even before I start the sim. Even as soon as the computer switched on, to be fair, it lights up. In fairness, you can turn it off, like once you're in sim. I've forgot to do it, to be honest, but if you you can just turn it off, to be fair. If you're in the daylight, you don't really need to. I think it just looks a little bit better on the stream, that's all. But it lights up lovely. It has some huge impact. Just looks really nice, doesn't it? But yeah, I don't know if you oh, it's my first time on the throttle. Oh, nice one. So I used to have a Honey Bravo for a long while. I've had that about 3 or 4 years, and it. So you're. How's that possible though? Because your graphics card is not. Are you looking at VRAM usage? You must be looking at VRAM usage. Because your graphics card's not even 20 gigabytes, is it? It's so that's saying that you're using. I'm guessing that's 2000. Sorry, you're basically using 20 gig of your RAM, which, to be fair, that's quite normal. That's not unusual. So it's probably not your RAM that's causing the issue. I would imagine it'll either be CPU driven or it'll be GPU driven that'll be holding you back. The Rosefire A106. I'm not very clued up with the Rosefire A106. I do know a little bit about them. But, oh, it's the mini overhead, is it? Ah, nice one. I noticed they've got a radio, haven't they, as well? A radio panel. I'm in the process of sort of like speaking with Jarvis about when this new panel is likely to be here, because those of you that have been following the stream for a while will know I've had this for a long while. That'll be your problem though. So it's using 7.2 gigs out of 8 gigs. Yeah, that'll be your problem, buddy. Because obviously that is literally purely what Flight Sim's using, let alone anything else that you're using elsewhere. So that'll be the what's causing the problem. The way of going with that, what I would suggest doing is set all your settings to low, David, and just try and see what you can tweak and what you can't tweak. You're definitely updated to Sim Update 4, aren't you? Because that made a massive difference for my performance. I presume you will be. Depends where you've bought it from. If it's Microsoft Store, it should update automatically anyway. So you should be on Sim Update 4. You did your best ever land but forgot to brake. Did you not have auto brake enabled? You should have seen my landing the other night. It was horrendous. It really was horrendous. I've not flown this one for a while, so whether we'll have the same sort of experience here, I don't know. I wouldn't say you need to buy it. Well, you probably, if you want some decent FPS and decent graphics with it, then realistically you probably are going to look at buying a new graphics card. Just as I am, I'm on a 12 gigabyte card. What I would suggest, David, is go for a minimum of 16 gigabyte. What I'm looking at potentially doing is moving to AMD over Nvidia, and I've always been an Nvidia fan, but the price is just too crazy. So I'm looking at doing yeah, basically that's what I'm looking at. And looking to see if we can get away with a 20 gigabyte or 24 gigabyte card. Yeah. So how do auto brake? So it's down here, look. There's your auto brake panel here, look. So you can have. It won't let you select max on landing because that's just max manual braking, but you can select between. Anytime it lets you select max is during takeoff. One thing we do need to do though is have a quick look at our landing performance. Probably want to have a look at the latest weather as well, to see if anything's changed there. It seems to be getting a little bit bumpy. Just a little bit bumpy, not too crazy, but so our landing weight is 64.1. So we're literally just below our maximum landing weight. That's crazy. So we're going to be utilising auto brake max, I think. Sorry, medium, not max, medium. Yes, it is in real time, buddy. How do you add more planes? Because I bought it, it won't show me them all. So this is obviously the Phoenix Airbus that we're using. So this isn't native to Flight Sim 2024. What I would suggest, so if you can download this, best place to get it from, if it's not a Phoenix, it's flightsim.to. If it is the Phoenix, then you're pretty much, well, you're not stuck, but right, we're going to start our descent now to flight level 100 to be leveled by Loras. We're going to go to managed speed, and we're just going to bring this in a touch. Literally 1,200 feet per minute, nothing too crazy. So just a nice steady descent, really. We're still quite away, we're still like 200 miles, but if we get sort of in that descent pattern now, it'll be quite nice. Yeah, it does take the same amount of time as it would in real life, buddy. Am I doing another flight after? Probably not. Not straight after, maybe later on. I'm not too sure, it depends on what things to do. Obviously we've done a 2-hour flight today. Well, it'll be more like 3 hours the time we're back on the ground, but yeah, probably not today, buddy, if I'm honest. So the first question, buddy, is: are you flying on the Phoenix, or are you just using any normal base model in the sim? Because if you're just using base models in the sim, it's a lot easier. You can basically go on a website called flightsim.to, and literally there's loads of liveries you can download from there, and it even tells you where to install it. So, however, with the Phoenix, it's a little bit more complicated. You download the liveries for the Phoenix from the Phoenix installer, and they're only the ones that you can get. There's quite a good selection on there, though, to be fair. Like, if you want Wizz Air, the Phoenix has Wizz Air. We just need to keep an eye on this weather, because we could get a little bit bumpy. In actual fact, this is closing in a bit. So, tell you what, let's tell them we've got a bit of turbulence and see how we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign as we will shortly be landing at our destination.
Well, not quite that, but that's not the reason why I put the seatbelt signs on, but there we go. Sometimes they just tell you about the turbulence. It's probably because we're descending with it as well. But I think, obviously, as you can see, this weather's sort of closing in on us a little bit.
Laptops must now be switched off and stowed away safely. Please also take a moment to remind yourself of your nearest exit. Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to get patches of turbulence on the way down, but we'll see how we go. Then you also have the switch. So that's a Phoenix thing. That's not routinely in all the other aircraft types. So yeah, that's in the Phoenix you can. There's a few other add-on aircraft where you can add sound packs for this. So these are all set sound packs. So we're just concentrating, just keeping an eye on the weather, making sure keep everything safe. Because that's the thing, if you hit turbulence in one of these, like you do, especially now I'm using FS Realistic, you will feel it, 100%. You'll see it. You see that weather slowly but surely is closing in on us. So what we may need to do, if there's a bit of an escape path at the minute over to this right side. So I think if we did need to plan anything, we'd probably come to like a heading of 180 briefly, or maybe 175, just to sort of keep us out of the way of any turbulence, but we'll see how we go. So there's no current ATC for where we're going. It is very, very busy at the airport here though, that's one thing I can tell you. There's a good few aircraft on the ground. Well, I think there is anyway. It looks busy from what I can see. Obviously that red zone's where we really don't want to end up with the weather. How do you get there? That's automatic descent by the restraint. So we've already set the restraints, and all you need to do, so once you've set the restraints in, so you'll see that we've got a restraint at Lores up here. Pretty much all you need to do is go into manage mode. So if I now pushed in the altitude hold button, you'll get the dot, that means it's in manage mode. The only downside to that when we're flying like this is it will basically cause it to descend more rapidly, which obviously is not what we want currently. So you just Freddie, how we're doing? Just move from Boeing and test flying a fly-by-wire Airbus. That's the sensible thing to do, mate. That is sensible. That's exactly what I did when before I bought the Phoenix. We started flying. In fairness, the fly-by-wire A320 is really good. It's had a lot of development time. The Phoenix just adds a little bit more realism. But obviously, it's a payware add-on, so but there's nothing wrong with that, and it's certainly a good learning point as well. See how we get on with it. So yeah, we'll look at this weather now. It's proper closing in. So even if we went now to a heading of 175, it's realistically not going to change that much. We just need to be a little bit careful of some of this dodgy looking weather. One thing we will do while we're going through our descent is just have a quick look at the weather for the latest weather information. LEPA weather requests. Just trying to keep an eye on this weather as well at the same time. We'll just see if anything's really changed with the weather. Probably not. (15 to 30 so 060). Oh wow. 060 at 15 knots. But it's gusting up to 25 knots. visibility is now good. There's no rain, so that's a bonus. QNH 1004, 14 degrees Celsius. So we're just going to move over to the performance page again. So QNH still 1004, so it's 14 degrees temperature, 060 at gusting 50. Well, we'll put the gust. Well, we'll put 15 degrees, but we need to be aware that it's gusting up to 25. So there's a good chance we could have a missed approach if it gusts much worse. Obviously, one thing we need to be aware of here is potentially we could have a wind shear alert. Obviously, we've got a lot of red now surrounding us. I've not seen the weather radar this colourful for quite a while, to be fair. Hopefully, as we sort of start descending further out now, it should hopefully sort itself out. You'll notice now you'll get a little bit, probably see a little bit of this turbulence as well. So this weather looks very angry, doesn't it? Very, very angry. In this weather, I do think I'll be using Boeing for its autopilot. Yeah, that's fair enough. Everyone has their preference. I always used to prefer the P&D G737, to be honest, to any other sort of aircraft about there. But some people prefer others, so it just depends on what people want. You see, this is where it starts getting a little bit bumpy.
Alpha traffic, Easy 147, established runway 06 left, speed 180.
Yeah, it's jumping about a little bit now. So potentially got some red weather. So we're actually picking up some. I'm trying to think what we're picking. I think it's so it's Barcelona we're picking up, because they're pretty much descending over there, sort of heads. So in case of a wind shear, we'll be to Toga, maximum thrust. So as you can see now, the passengers are going to be thrown about a little bit now. We're still flying right through that tiny little gap though, so we'll see how we get on with it. Certainly makes it a little bit more interesting. So hopefully we're coming out of some of this dodgy weather. Maybe not. Poor cabin, bless them. It's so we're going to try and be a bit cheeky. We're going to come across to a heading a couple of degrees to the left. We'll try and aim for some of that green. proper bouncy. There's always the risk the autopilot could disconnect as well. There's some of the rain. Yeah, baby, friend, how we doing? I bet this isn't very effective. Oh, to be fair, I don't think these. I think because of the altitude bar, they only work at a certain altitude, don't they? Hopefully, as we're descending, sort of some of this weather is slowly disappearing, but as you see by the cabin, it's rocking around a little bit. Doesn't look too bad, but when you look a little bit closer, it's pretty bouncy. So we're flying through to some of this. Problem is, it's red the whole way across, so we're probably just gonna have to try and fight through it. Never really flown into much red weather, so let's see how we get on. Cheers to the follow, buddy. Right, this weather here looks really dodgy, doesn't it? So 14,000 feet. Cabin crew, take your seats immediately, thank you. It's looking even worse the weather now than it did earlier on. So obviously we got these 40 knot winds that are in alternate directions as well. So one thing we do need to start doing is thinking about starting to slow down, which is what the aircraft's going to do on its own accord in approximately 8 miles or so. Risk of doing that is we probably will notice that the weather's going to, like, it's in the aircraft's probably going to start moving more. This is very unusual weather for this sort of destination, though, I must admit. It looks like we're breaking through the cloud a touch. So if we do need to escape any wind shear, obviously we're going to be going off to the right hand side. I think it's going to be the safest bet at the minute. So we're pretty much at flight level 100. The speed now is coming down nicely. Engines are at idle. So we've been flying 1 hour 38, well, about 1 hour 40 minutes roughly. We started up about 1 hour 54. The Palma traffic easy 97 Juliet, inbound Lores, Lores 1 November arrival. So flight level 100, landing lights on. We can't see anything of the island yet. That's showing the worst of the weather by the look of things. Just the odd few little clouds here and there. So if we really want to stay out of the weather, what we could do is consider going direct ADAX. I don't know how much it would actually decrease our sort of flight time by, but it would take us out some of this weather. Palma traffic, easy 970 inbound direct lights. So we just had the approach for controller come online, just literally as we've changed that. So there's not much traffic inbound, so hopefully. That's 119, 155. You may tell me off for not following the correct approach, but we'll see how we go. It's just to avoid some of this weather, really. That's all it's about. We'll stay at 10,000 feet for now anyway, so we've still got 60 miles left to run. Keeps randomly pulling up. Interesting one. Why would it keep pulling up? What, on autopilot or just when flying manually? It's clearly, make sure your controllers are all calibrated is probably what I would suggest. So what we will do in a minute, I will move over to the controller. La Palma approach easy 97 Juliet inbound ADRAX 10,000 feet.
AC 97 Juliet Palma approach. Hello, radar contact flight level 100. Continue direct to ADRAX and to be expecting the ILS will approach runway 06 left.
Inbound ADRAX and expecting the ILS 06 left Zulu approach easy 970. So. Bit of a dodgy. Oh, you're on console. I don't really know much about console, if I'm honest. Whether there's some assistance features enabled, I don't know. So obviously we managed to avoid a lot of this dodgy weather look if you look off to the left hand side of the aircraft, so hopefully it'll make things a little bit smoother. I'm sure he'll give us further descent at some point soon. So there's an arrival later, so expect ILS Zulu approach, which is what we're on, 06 left. Gusting up to 26 still, so the weather's still exactly the same, QNH 1004. So we've already said we're going to have automatic medium for landing. bit of a rainbow there, look. Don't see many rainbows on Flight Sim. Yeah, a bit of a dodgy looking approach really. Dodgy looking weather, even still. Cheers to the luck, really. So not too much longer, so 16:06, we've actually knocked a few minutes off our set point, to be fair. Oh, we're just landing in La Palma, though it doesn't look like La Palma, does it? It looks very much... well, it looks very miserable. There's been quite a bit of rain actually in La Palma today by the look of the weather. You just got the island coming into view now. We're expecting potentially really high gusty winds, up to approximately 26 knots, which is still within the tolerance of the aircraft, but just means it'll be a little bit challenging for us. We've had a little bit of turbulence on the way down as well, which is what you can see off to the left-hand side of us. Some pretty hefty turbulence at times. Yeah, it's always nice when you land just before the sun goes down, isn't it? It's always nice when that happens.
Palma de Mallorca control, Lufthansa 1 Alpha request, microphone check.
Out of 10-7 Alpha, hello, hear you 5. Please now contact ground, just one line on 121.705. Bye.
121.705, right, let's get that tuned ready.
Contact ground on 121.705, Lufthansa 1 Alpha, see you.
Palma Control, good day, viewing for Victor November, level 190, information Alpha booked. Boarding 4 Victor November, good day to you. Palma Control, squawk 1000.
I don't really know how much it was altogether. On the Phoenix, the weather radar's been working for quite a good while, to be honest. Certainly other aircraft.
4 Victor November, radar contact, flight level 190, flight direct to Alpha Delta X-ray, expecting the LS to approach, runway 06 left, descend, flight level 110. Direct to Alpha Delta X-ray, descending level 110, and expecting the LS to approach for runway 06 left, fueling for Victor November. For Victor November, just to confirm ILS Zulu approach will be your approach. Yeah, confirm the ILS Zulu for 06 left, fueling for Victor November.
It is a go. Well, I've never seen La Palma look like this in the middle of the day.
It's 7 Juliet, descent altitude 6,000 feet, QNH 1004.
So the 6,000 QNH 1004, easy, 970 do that. QNH 1004, 6,000, open descent 6,000. So it could get a little bit bumpy in a couple of places, but cabin's not secure yet. Yeah, there's a fair amount of the full wing setup. The overhead's not from wing though. That's the only thing that isn't really from wing, to be fair. No, apart from the rudders, they're not wing at the minute. So once we get to Adax with 230 knots, and then pretty much down on the ILS. So, approach checklist Barrow 1004. Seatbelts on a minimum of 354 Barrow. Order brake medium, engine mode select and all. The overheads from Java Simulator, which you've probably not heard of, because I hadn't heard of them until I came across them. So the airport's off to the left hand side of us, so they're sort of flying below all this dodgy weather at the moment. So obviously the constraints we don't need to follow because we're getting radar vectors. So, yes, we're landing in La Palma. That's very correct, Adam. It doesn't look like La Palma though, does it, when you look at the weather? It really doesn't. One thing we will quickly do though is we will just shut the door, so that can affect our performance a little bit on landing. Oh, are you in the viewing behind us? It's pretty cool if you are. Oh, the Rhino. Ah, fair enough. I did hear a couple of other. I've got a viewing like a few miles behind me, so didn't know if that was the situation. So this is where we're probably going to get a little bit of rain, I guess. So we're above, the terrain's on that side. Scale that down a bit. Just the roseberry. Much appreciated. So we've still not got a visual on the runway at the moment. Never realised La Palma was as mountainous to be fair though. Some nice little views. Nice dodgy weather. So it's reduced speed back now to 30 knots. Start a little bit earlier.
Palma Control, Lufthansa 1 Alpha, we are ready for departure.
Lufthansa 1 Alpha, Palma, hello, wind 060 degrees, 15 knots, casting 26 knots, runway 06 right, clear takeoff.
Clear takeoff 06 right, Lufthansa 1 Alpha.
So we'll see what happens. We may decide to disconnect the auto throttle if the gusts do pick up. Hey buddy, how we doing?
You look for Victor November 110. TC 97 Juliet, continue descent 3000 feet, fly heading 180 degrees.
3000 and 180 degrees, easy 900 do that.
Berlin, full Victor November, descent altitude 6000 feet, QNH 1004. Sending altitude 6000 feet, QNH 1004, building for Victor November.
Still not much to see over to this left side of us. So over descent 3000. One system is active. Probably going to continue our descent a touch more, probably 220 or something. Well, we just got a visual there out that window.
It's 97 Juliet, turn left, heading 090 degrees, clear ILS to approach runway 06 left.
Left 090 degrees and cleared ILS 06 left, easy now, so do that. 090, approach armed AP1, AP2. This weather's looking interesting. So could be a little bit of a bumpy landing, but we'll see how we get on. Oh, it might be just out. No, we're just in the green zone. Wonderful. What's one?
Calling 4 Victor November, fly heading 180 degrees and descend altitude 5,000 feet. Flying heading 180 degrees and descending altitude 5,000 feet, fueling 4 Victor November.
Speed back to 180. We should hopefully pick up the ILS any second. A little bit of luck. We're visual with the runway.
So that's a 1 Alpha radar contact on departure, climb flight level 160.
Climb, flight level 160, Lufthansa 1 Alpha.
Lock start. Easy 97 Juliet, established 06 left.
Easy 97 Juliet, roger, continue approach, runway 06 left.
Then you approach, easy 97 Juliet. So, outstar.
Well, in 4 Victor November, continue descend 3,000 feet, fly heading 150 degrees.
EasyJet flaps 2.
Heading 150 degrees and descending 3,000 feet, fueling 4 Victor November.
Flash up star. Get down. Speed back 160 till 4. Just double check.
Easy 97 Juliet, runway 06 left, clear to land, wind 06 degrees, 15 knots, 15 knots, casting 2626 knots.
Clear to land 06 left, easy 97 Juliet. Speed jet flat 3. And 4.
Well, in 4 Victor November, left heading 09 and 0 degrees, clear ILS to the bridge, runway 06 left. Left 090, active fire to the approach runway 06 left.
Go around altitude is 2,700. 2,700, so. So, ready for the landing checklist. Java Simulator, buddy. Landing checklist, go around altitude 2,700 feet. Cabin ready, eco memo, landing blue. So, pretty bang on the money for everything there. Manual flight. Minimum approach speed.
Just 5623, hello approach, Palma, radar contact flight Lotus 1 Romeo arrival for runway 06 left, and expect the ILS to approach runway 06 left.
ILS Zulu approach 06 left, function safety.
So we're clear to land.
That's 5623, descent flight level 250.
Descent level 250, change it to 5623.
Lufthansa, we are 563 after Lawrence, flying direct Alpha Delta X-ray.
North, direct Alpha.
Lufthansa 1 Alpha, continue climb flight level 240.
Continue climb flight level 240 Lufthansa 1 Alpha.
Above.
Land.
Minimum.
Continue.
Lufthansa 563 Gator, taking the waypoint to direct after north.
Lufthansa 563, fly direct from present position. From present position, fly direct to Alpha Delta X-ray.
Screen, break medium diesel.
Well,
Directing Alpha Delta X-ray.
On your braking. 60 knots.
On approach, hello, 7 Tango Whiskey Romeo, Quebec.
7 Tango Whiskey Romeo, Quebec, Palma approach, hello, radar contact, flight level 244, descent, flight level 110, and fly Oscar 3, Mike, arrival.
Roger, descent level 110 and confirm arrival Oscar 3 Mike.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly
Tango
be leaving
7
their
Whiskey
seats
Romeo,
to
Quebec,
perform
that's correct,
safety-related
expect
duties.
ILS to the
However,
approach.
we ask that you remain seated until the
Roger,
fasten
expect ILS 06 Zulu, thank you very much.
Electronic devices
Easy 9 Islamic Juliet, contact down on 121.705, bye.
Go ground
Please make sure that you
121.705
take
there,
all
easy
your
nice and
personal
chill.
belongings with you.
Well, in full Victor November, runway 06 left,
and
clear
in
to
the
land.
overhead lockers. Do take care when opening the lockers in case anything falls out. Smoking is not
After
permitted
landing,
until you
radar
reach a
frequency
designated
system as
smoking
well.
area. On behalf of the captain and
Palm
the crew,
ground,
it
easy
has been our
97 Juliet
pleasure
with you at
looking after
November
you
3.
today. Our ground crew will help you complete
Easy
your
987
EasyJet
Juliet, hello
The
Palma
latest
ground, you
news,
can taxi
promotions,
to
flight
stand
and
20
destination
via
Check out our official
North
Facebook
and
page,
Del
Twitter,
correction,
or EasyJet.
North and Echo.
Stand 20 north and echo, easy messenger. So via north and echo, let's have a look. So around to the right side. Now have a quick gander, see where we're going. So this is the north taxiway, it's just to our right. And that's not echo, I don't think. It's 20, I guess it's 20 there. Okay, echo is the next left. So gate 20 is what we're after. There he is, he's down. There's the fueling. Yes, we're on the VAT symbol. And is it worth the money? I'd say so. After landing, radar predictive wind shear system is off after landing complete. Yeah, it was a little bit high, I think, than on the approach. Hence why it threw it down, but it was a little bit of a blustery landing, so I'll take it. Take it. So echo straight ahead, then right, stand 20. Pretty much where the everything's there ready for us. So APU can come on. We've had about a minute cool down already, so that's stand 22. Let's bring the nose around to the right side. That's the next stand on the left. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird move with the whole VATSIM thing. I kind of get it too, Sensei, but some people are really good. So that's off for the minute. Faded, buddy. Yeah, I think I agree with you. I must admit, I'm still not amazing with my landings, to be fair.
Berlin 4 Victor November, Palma ground.
Yeah, not.
Berlin 4 Victor November, welcome to Palma de Mallorca, taxi to stand correction.
I don't know why he stood all the way over there. He's miles
via
off
North Link and Mike.
North Link and Mike to stand 90, gate 90, viewing 4 Victor November, thank you.
I don't know what's going on with this guy here, but the lines are nowhere near, so don't know why he stood so far off set, but there we go.
Iberia 2 Lima Eco, están 96, subitamos ataque y
Iberia 2 Lima Eco, puesta en marcha, retroceso aprobado, encare.
Yeah, it's difficult. I think you get a different perspective, don't you? That's probably the issue.
Puesta en marcha, retroceso aprobado, encaramos al este Iberia.
Yeah, I know you're over there, mate, but the line's over here. I don't know what's going on with you, but I'm going with the lines. It does look a bit strange than being off a bit though. Either way, so park brake set. We're going to ignore him because I don't know why the lines. We're pretty much on the line, I think. Well, near enough on the line. We'll go with it. Considering he's all the way over there, so I don't know why. It makes sense though, because obviously the thing is there, but who knows? We'll leave it at that anyway. No, I don't think it is default scenery. It's freeware, but I don't think it's default. If I'm honest, I can't remember that. Yeah, I think it's I think it's one of the things you get a slightly different perspective of things. And yeah, it's a little bit low on the initial approach, like I say, when short. So then yeah, I've sort of tried to level the VS out, and then you end up floating, don't you? That's pretty much what was a hard landing. So we ended up floating rather than pushing the nose down and then pulling up a little bit. But there we go. One of them things. Anyway, 2 minutes press cool down. We can get rid of the engine now. They can all come on.
Cabin crew, doors to
Ground power connected, AP off.
cabin crew. Check.
So then guys, oh, there you go, it has managed to reach us, wonderful. That's all off. Parking checklists, parking, brake or chocks. Chocks to sets the brake is released, engines off, wing lights off and fuel pumps off. Parking checklist complete. So guys, thank you very much for joining us on this short but it's pretty rough landing. We'll have a quick look to see what our landing rate actually was, but I'd imagine it's going to be a little bit on the rough side. Not well, 360. Not my worst ever landing, but it's certainly not the best. Not compared to our like 0.7 that we had the other day. It's, yeah, not quite the same. But yeah, like I say, we ended up a little bit long on the runway really, but we stopped in time, which is the main thing. But obviously the weather's a little bit challenging today as well, which is not the best, but most important thing, we're on the ground, so there we go. So guys, let's just double check and make sure I've gone through all the shots. So is it worth the money? I would personally say it's worth the money. I've only had it about 3 or 4 weeks now. I personally don't have an issue with it. I think it's pretty good for the money. It's just the import cost that you have to consider with it really. That's the main sort of consideration with it. But the backlighting's really good on it, as you can see on here. It's got a few extra options as well, which some of the others don't have. So it certainly has some differences to others. So guys, thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you again, hopefully in another video very soon. Take care, bye for now.